there's just great quarterback play in Kansas City. So with that being said, we're gonna jump into our weekly preview. We have our first game that we're gonna get into, the 49ers versus the Dolphins. The 49ers are the -3.5 favorite. I believe it's because they're at home. Josh McDaniels going back home, going back to play face or not Josh McDaniels, Mike McDaniels. He's going back to face his former team that he was coaching with. And this will be an interesting game to see because I think I feel like the Dolphins can put up a lot of points and they show that they can be explosive offensively. And I don't know if the 49ers can keep up with that. So,
Yeah, this is a fun matchup. Like you said, Mike McDaniel facing his former team, but this is kind of you know, the rock when a rock meets a hard place, right?
yeah,
Dolphins have been on a tear lately. They had their struggles with the whole Tua concussion incidents that were happening, but when Tua's in there, he's lighting it up now, and
yeah,
the offense is clicking. They got two of the leading receivers in the NFL when it comes to yardage, and you go in against the best pass defense in the league right now with the 49ers. Solid defense all around. You have Nick Bosa back. He's playing well again. Jimmy G is making plays like we talked about earlier. It's a very, very fun matchup to see which style of football is going to prevail, or if one of these teams can get the job done playing the other team's game, if you will. So, yeah, to me, this is probably my matchup that I'm looking forward the most this week, just because it'll tell us a lot about this matchup is going to tell us a lot about both of these teams,
yeah.
and probably where their ceiling is in terms of how far they can make it on their playoff run this year.
Yeah, yeah, this will be an interesting. Just like you said, I mean, I mean, a great defense versus a great offense, and then nonetheless a great pass offense against a great pass defense. We've seen matchups like this in the past, and they've been interesting nonetheless to see. So, I mean, I think this will be a great game to watch on Sunday, and I'm sure a lot of people will be tuned in. So the next game that we have to preview is an AFC rematch from last year. The Chiefs going to the Bengals. The Chiefs are the -2 favorite right now versus the Bengals, and it'll be interesting to see. I think the Chiefs kind of want to get back at the Bengals for what they did last year and in that AFC Championship game, and it'll be interesting to see what's the outcome of this situation. Being that I mean the Chiefs are hot right now, Bengals they're not exactly playing their best football, and I mean they're playing good enough. So I mean, this will be a nice game to see. I mean, Joe Burrow versus Pat Mahomes. I think that's anybody wants to see that. So
Yeah, I mean, like you said, solid matchup. Two great quarterbacks going at it. We have Jamar Chase return coming.
oh, this yeah,
He mentioned actually today that he was probably good to go last week. They kind of held him out just as a precaution. That and now he's 100% ready to go for this week. So we're gonna have Jamar Chase back. Could be a potentially very fun game to watch if both offenses could get rolling and put up a bunch of points. So yeah, a fun matchup. Chiefs favorite even on the road here with the way that they're playing. It's hard to argue with that. But -2.5 favorites. So obviously they expect this to be a close one. The Bengals do have the home field advantage. Vegas knows that Jamar Chase is coming back, who of course Joe Burrow's favorite target. And yeah, I expect the Chiefs to keep up the same level of play they've been having. But I think this is a matchup where the Bengals should be able to keep it close at home. I'm sure they'll have something to say about it, put up their own offensive firepower, try to keep up. And yeah, this could be one of those close games that comes down to the last drive. It might be one of those situations where, who has the ball last. I could see this being a situation where Joe Burrow comes up clutch in the end at home. It could also
yeah,
be one of those situations where the Bengals score with a minute 12 seconds left, and then
and
the
leave it
Chiefs roll
for
down the field for like a touchdown field goal to win the game type of thing. So either way, should be fun to watch. And hopefully, the game is a close game like Vegas is predicting to see some 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 things happen late in this game.
Yeah. So the next game that we're gonna get into is the Titans versus the Eagles. The Eagles are at home. They're the -5.5 favorite. My thoughts on this game is kind of, I believe the Titans can beat the Eagles. We've seen, I mean, even last week, I mean, the game was not that close, but I think the Packers could have beat them. But again, the Titans, I believe they do have what it takes to beat the Eagles. The Eagles, they do show some weaknesses in their game. So I'm gonna roll with the Titans. I think the Eagles cooled down a little bit. The Titans have been playing pretty solid football. I mean, last week they came off of a tough loss against the Bengals. Um, so yeah, I think they go on the road with a statement win and upset the Eagles. So what are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
look, the Eagles have been playing well, all around, offensively and defensively. The past few weeks, though, they've slowed down a bit, and we've seen them kind of come back to earth. They've been able to still win some of these games, but they've been close games, right? We saw the Eagles have a little trouble with the Colts. They ended up coming out with a win in the late game situation. The Titans have the type of style that's difficult for most teams to keep up with.
Right.
They run the ball down your throat with Derrick Henry. They control the clock. They play good defense. Um, yeah, I certainly I can see the Titans keeping this a close game and kind of just stealing this one from the Eagles. Um, you know, the Eagles, they were able to kind of blow some teams out earlier on. We saw what they did to like the Vikings, for instance.
Right.
Um, but yeah, like I said, as of late, they've been having trouble. They closer game than they probably wanted against the Texans, the Colts game, the Packers. They won by a decent amount against the Packers, but that's after Aaron Rodgers got pulled out of there.
Right.
Yeah, and like I said, with Derrick Henry, he's such a weapon. It's going to be hard for the Eagles to contain him. And yeah, like you said, I like the Titans to keep it close. I mean, Eagles -5.5. I don't know if I pick the Titans outright to win. I certainly think they have a shot, but I'll take the points and play it safe and probably roll with them when it comes to which line I would take.
Yeah, for sure.